on the move again through the jungles of northern Philippines. These fighters of the New People's Army let Al Jazeera come along to show how they've survived one step at a time for over 40 years. Their struggle, now the longest-running communist insurgency in Asia. The NPA no longer operate from stationary base camps. For security reasons, they're now very highly mobile and very rarely stay in one place for more than a few days. They have a very strong mass-based support and are very reliant on rural communities, such as this one. Disarmingly charming despite the weapons they carry, the NPA plan to win their war one person at a time. They've been labeled terrorists by officials, responsible for extortion, torture, and over 40,000 deaths. But there is no fear evident here. Instead, the NPA are welcomed like old friends by poor villagers who offered not just food and water, but shelter along the way. Many locals seemingly feeling safer around these warriors than their own government's troops.
It's in these small communities that we plant seed for a new regime. It's where we are strong and the government is weak. Our struggle is for these people.
And it's no longer just an armed struggle. Using popular songs with reworked lyrics, the current breed of fighters, many younger than the movement itself, are spreading their message of social reform to an even younger, more fertile audience, hoping to convince them they're on the same side. They also bring medical missions to some of the remotest areas in the country and capture it all on film to then post on the internet and spread the word even wider.
The revolution isn't all about guns, but espousing change in all aspects of society. It's in places like this that people have been overlooked by government. There's no chance to be educated or become literate. It's very effective to reach them through revolutionary songs, dance and performance art. You don't have to be intelligent or literate to understand principles.
As far as they're concerned, it's working. New recruits include people like 21-year-old Tess, a farmer's daughter who never finished school. She chose to give up her identity and her family to join the movement.
Being away from family is hard and life here is difficult, but we're fighting for a greater cause and I'm ready to give up my life. Fear is normal, but if you let it take over, you won't be able to help the poor.
The NPA are used to watching their backs. But at military headquarters in Manila, a newly created civic service unit is working on a softer assault to combat the enemy.
If we will do it the way we did it 20, 15, 30 years ago, scorched earth policy, and it did not solve the problem, we must look for something else, something lighter. Maybe true servitude to the people.
It's a battle for hearts and minds, and both sides are prepared for it to be a long one. A ceasefire might only be possible if the underlying problem of poverty is solved. Until then, another generation of Filipinos is learning to see life attached to the barrel of a gun. Margo Ortigas, Al Jazeera, Southern Luzon, the Philippines.
Well, Ban Ki-moon has been the Secretary General of the United Nations for 2.5 years now. From the start of his term, he faced a challenging agenda of international crises. But despite winning praise for his work on issues like climate change, he's still also attracting criticism from people who believe he was never the right man for the job.